Just a heads up, this is going to be a completely different style of video from what I normally do. You can tell that I'm obviously using VR footage, which is the first time that I'm using a game not on Roblox. Additionally, what I'm going to be talking about in this video is nothing to do with theories or news. I'm simply going to be sharing my thoughts about some topics in Deepwoken, and giving some advice that I hope you can learn from. So, a recurring question that I've been getting is, how do you train for Deepwoken, knowing that it's such a unique game and there's nothing else on Roblox that's quite like it? It's a question that I've been avoiding for the longest time, not because I don't want to tell you guys the answer, but because I hadn't known the answer myself. As a result of all the 1v1s that I'm scheduled to do after Deepwoken releases, it's something that's become more and more important to me. I want to give myself every possible advantage that I can have going into the game's release, and I'm sure you do as well. Well, the first tip that I have is you should always try and stay active on Roblox. In 2019, before Rogue Lineage released, I stopped playing Roblox for a few months, and I was on a break. My friends found Rogue Lineage, and they asked me to play as well. Even though we all started playing Rogue Lineage at the same time, I felt that in some ways I was the weakest link. The strange part about it was that these friends were people who I'd been playing with for years. I knew that I was just as good as they were. This inevitably started affecting my confidence, and overall just made me a lot worse at the game. As I started to play more and more Roblox, I noticed that that feeling started to go away. A lot of that ability gap can be boiled down to the fact that I was just simply so rusty. I was getting used to playing competitive fighting games on Roblox for the first time in months. I strongly believe that if I hadn't taken that break, I wouldn't have started Rogue Lineage a step behind, and I would have been a lot better than I was throughout the entirety of the game. I'm definitely not taking that chance of Deepwoken, and I'm going to be polishing my Roblox mechanics for as long as I can. The reason why this tip is so important is because I know that a lot of my viewers and the Deepwoken community in general has pretty much quit Roblox for the time being until Deepwoken releases, because they are bored of everything else on the platform. Even though I get that you may feel burnt out, I still think it's important to play fighting games on Roblox at least twice a week. The next thing that I want to talk about is something that everyone should do, and that is determining whether you'll be a solo player, or if you aren't going to be a solo player, then who will you be playing with. The quicker you create or join a guild, the more time you have to form important synergies and relationships for Deepwoken releases. In the first month of Rogue Lineage, most people were houseless, or the houses that did exist were incredibly unorganized. That's why people like Roy Haru were able to become so successful in the Rogue community, because they were able to capitalize off the disharmony. Strategies such as ganking will only work successfully if everyone in your guild has good relationships with one another, and can know that at any given moment they can back each other up. Going even further than the protection that guilds offer, there's something even more important. If you create an environment where people feel safe to share information with one another, then you're going to be very successful in Deepwoken. There are going to be a lot of unknown variables in Deepwoken, just like the first few months of Rogue Lineage. At the start of the game, we won't know how to progress, get rare items, complete missions, or customize our magic. That's why I suggest having a guild of people who are very close with one another and trust each other with information. If anyone at any given point feels that they can't trust another person in the guild with information, then you've failed. Progression is going to be much harder for you as the guild, and you'll be left behind. Expanding on the topic of information, I can't stress how important it is for you and your guild to have connections with a tester. Testers have already surpassed the first few months of the learning curve. Don't get me wrong, there's still a lot that they don't know, but if you have one by your side, then effectively you can skip the early game learning curve. You can focus on progressing without having to gather any information of your own. And once you've used that information and become stronger, you and your guild can focus more on the mid to late game content. And you should be able to discover late game progression and secrets a lot faster than other people. This will put your guild 10 steps ahead. And if you use that progression advantage that you have, your guild has a good chance of gaining recognition in the Deepwoken community. That's everything I have for you guys today. If you enjoyed this style of video and you want to hear more videos like this of me just talking and giving my thoughts, then please let me know. If you want me to go back to the other style of Deepwoken videos, then I can do that as well. I will be happy to deliver whatever type of content that makes you guys happy. Thanks for watching and peace out.